Leadership is influencing others to do things they've never done before. That was a quote that Dr. Mixon often used to describe leadership and its influence on an organization. Northouse described several different leadership styles, but two that stood out to me were the transformational leader and the servant leader. I see many benefits of the transformational leader, such as communication, empowering teachers, and developing relationships with the teachers. However, I see myself more as a servant leader. As a servant leader, I feel that it is important for the leader to lead by example. I would not expect anyone to do something I would not do. I also believe I should model my expectations when possible. This demonstrates both my priority in the expectation and my willingness to provide guidance and support throughout the process. I feel that as a leader, placing the best for the student at the front of every decision will maintain the passion of the leader and the staff. An organization takes on the personality of its leader. I've seen this too many times throughout my career. That is why it is important that I have a good understanding of my strengths and weaknesses. That understanding has led me to surround myself with administrative staff to complement my weaknesses. I believe this creates a more complete leadership team. My first course on leadership in this program was Dynamics of Leadership. And through the assignments in this course, I've been able to observe and reflect on various leadership approaches. This made me better aware of the transformational leadership approach and the authentic leadership approach that better fit my personal leadership style. The second course of leadership in this program was organizational change. Bethel, in her book, A New Breed of Leader, described leadership components that are possessed by a successful leader. The ones that stood out to me were accountability, openness, value, and power. Good teachers want accountability, since they are usually doing what is expected and want the other teachers to be held to the same standard of expectations that they're held. Poor teachers usually don't want accountability since they're typically not doing what is expected. Openness means more of a transparent situation, providing information about decision making and about decisions that are freely available to the staff. Value is driven by the leader and the staff. The values of the staff, the values of the leader, and the values of the organization itself. And the final quality that stood out to me was power. Bethel presented this concept through the image of a horse rider with a loose rein. This was a tremendous impression on me, since I remember going to a horse riding seminar and watching the rider guide the horse through the position of his legs, the position of the weight of his body, leaning forward, leaning backwards, slightly, only so slightly. Pressure from his legs one way or the other, guiding the horse to do exactly what he needed him to do or wanted him to do. This made me think of a leader that could lead with such a subtleness, but yet having to develop that through a long-standing relationship with their staff, that the staff could truly understand the complexities of the decisions that were made and the focus of the campus and the focus of the organization as a whole, and truly understanding the leadership style, the leadership position, the values, the position, and the direction and the vision of that leader. Two key items from Fullen regarding change was the importance of communication before, during, and after the change process. Change is necessary in an organization to maintain a high level of success. It is often necessary for an organization to focus on change, to adapt to the changing environment around it. I saw this frequently through the several years as the principal of the middle school, in that change, to be effective, needed to be slow and methodical. But the most important asset was to communicate frequently and early with the staff, to provide them information before the change began and during the process and after the process of implementation was complete. It was also important to gain their insight, their input, and their support in the process. All these focus on communication and also including the staff in the process of change. One of my electives in my course was a course called the Foundations of Distance Education. The major assignment in this course required the development of an online instructional presentation. My group chose to develop an online staff training module for required health training for staff. During the development, I learned much about the INCAL standards for online course development, along with some of the challenges of various learning management systems. I also learned about the differences between developing online content delivery and traditional instructional delivery. Simonson stressed various components of a successful online program. The two that stood out to me during this project were the faculty preparation and the student readiness. In a staff training activity, the trainers would be those preparing and the students would be the participants. These seemed to be the most challenging to address due to the many levels of technology comfort. A second elective that stood out to me was technology-mediated teaching and learning. For the project in this course, my group again chose to incorporate online learning content into a hybrid delivery system for a professional development activity. We identified learning theories from our adult learning course to use in this project. We focused on situational learning and transformative learning. The concept of reflection, as Maslow described, was used in this online training. The most impactful part of this project to me was how important the design phase for an online delivery of learning is. This phase forced me to really focus on the learner and how they would receive or perceive the delivery of the content. The very first course in this program, scholarly writing. I feel that one of the most important parts of this course for me was the trust, respect, and benefit of peer reviews. We developed a literature review in 5 weeks, but through the process, we utilized our peers in a group setting to review our writings and provide feedback. Through this sharing and providing feedback and receiving constructive feedback, we were able to improve our writing skills. It also taught me the importance of providing meaningful feedback. One of my research courses in this program was qualitative research. Interestingly enough, I began the program focused on a quantitative study, as my background was math and science. However, when I got to this program, it forced me to look at my study in a different light and determine if qualitative approach was the best approach for my study. This course really gave me a good understanding of the benefits of qualitative study. It also taught me the difference between the two. Creswell stated that the qualitative study explored a phenomenon, while a quantitative study explained a theory. As I grew closer and closer to the end of my coursework, I considered conducting a mixed method study, which would include both quantitative and qualitative components. However, as I began the first stage of my dissertation development, I realized that a quantitative study would be more applicable to my focus of my research. This journey has provided many opportunities for me to grow professionally and personally. I've been able to apply many of the leadership qualities learned in dynamics of leadership and organizational change to benefit my campus. I've really worked hard to empower the teachers to make decisions and lead their departments while holding them accountable to their results. We work together to identify goals and strategies to accomplish these goals. I learned the most important aspect of leadership is communication. I was reminded of this throughout the program. Early on, my grandmother encouraged me to always do my best. She instilled in me the desire to learn and enjoy learning. Personally, it has been my goal to achieve this collegiate level for a long time. I've realized the benefit of setting personal and professional goals throughout this journey. I've also learned the benefit of Meserow's transformative learning theory applied through reflection. This has enabled me to better understand my personal challenges and strengths. It has also helped me understand the applications of the many concepts throughout this program. Professionally, I've always trusted God to guide my career, and He has provided every position along this path. I have no doubts that He will provide the next step along this journey. In closing, Dr. Mixon often used the phrase, "This is not a sprint, it's a marathon." I believe for me this journey has been a fruitful one, but by developing my leadership skills, helping me apply specific qualities toward my current position, and preparing me for future endeavors. But most importantly, I believe it has provided a vehicle to transport me from a manager of learning to a true leader of learning.